Gossips from the Center, the Chief Gossiper's South America Briefing. Reporting live from Gossip World Center Station, Bogota. Buenas noches. I'm your Chief Gossiper, and today, South America is a powder keg of political drama, economic anxiety, and the looming shadow of international interference. We're tracking a critical election runoff, an escalation in Venezuela's paranoia, and the precarious state of a crucial peace process. Section 1. The Venezuelan Cauldron and Diplomatic Showdowns. 1. The hostage tactic, reprisal for the opposition. Venezuelan opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez made a shocking public statement today, asserting that the 30-year prison sentence handed down to his son-in-law, Rafael Tudares, was a direct and malicious reprisal for Gonzalez's own political activities. My analysis: this is the classic authoritarian playbook, weaponizing family. The gossip here is that Nicolas Maduro's regime is not just targeting the opposition. They are systematically dismantling their personal support structures to create an atmosphere of terror. Targeting a son-in-law with a 3-decade sentence sends a chilling message to anyone, family or friend, who dares to support a challenge to the regime. It confirms that the upcoming election is less about democracy and more about survival, both political and personal. The drama is less in the courts and more in the desperate hope that international pressure, including Pope Leo XIV's recent appeal to President Trump to de-escalate, can somehow pierce the wall of state paranoia. 2. The Essequibo flurry. Venezuela files a defense. Venezuela is maintaining its aggressive posture in the territorial dispute with Guyana over the Essequibo region. The latest legal step is the deadline for Venezuela to file its rejoinder at the International Court of Justice, ICJ, even though it previously skipped ICJ hearings. My analysis: the ICJ timeline is just a formality, the real action is on the border. The gossip confirms that Venezuela's diplomatic and legal strategy is purely for show. Maduro already declared Essequibo a new Venezuelan state and issued identity cards to its non-existent residents. The dispute is a manufactured nationalist distraction designed to rally domestic support and divert attention from the country's profound economic collapse. The drama is that the crisis is deeply tied to oil. Guyana is shipping its first-ever crude cargo of Arrowhead to China, showing that the resource grab is well underway. Brazil remains the only regional heavyweight actively deploying troops to the border, acting as the nervous stabilizing force in this explosive game. Section 2. Political tensions and economic jitters. 3. Chile's tense runoff, the ideological battle lines. The two candidates vying for Chile's presidency, Janet Jara, left-wing ruling coalition, and José Antonio Kast, right-wing opposition, engaged in a tense radio debate today ahead of the December 14th runoff election. My analysis: this is the ideological battle of the decade for Chile, a country desperately seeking stability after years of social upheaval. Jara represents the continuation of the current government's efforts to expand social spending and rewrite the constitution, while Kast represents a powerful, populist conservative push to restore law and order and rewind social reforms. The gossip is that the election is razor thin, and the tone of this debate, tense and deeply polarized, reflects a nation that is still deeply unsettled. The political drama is whether Chile will double down on its progressive path or snap back sharply to the right. The result will have massive implications for investment and social policy across the Andean region. 4. Brazil's Supreme Court drama, judicial impeachment limited. Brazil's Supreme Court, STF Justice Gilmar Mendes, issued a ruling today asserting that only the Attorney General is allowed to file impeachment requests against STF justices. My analysis: this is an act of judicial self-preservation, and the political gossip is electric. This ruling dramatically restricts the power of Brazil's legislature and other political actors to challenge the Supreme Court. It comes amid frequent tension between the STF and the more conservative elements in the Congress and the public, often fueled by corruption allegations and politically charged rulings. Mendes's move effectively shields the court from immediate political reprisal, solidifying the STF's immense power in Brazilian politics. It's a clear declaration that the judiciary intends to be the ultimate referee in the country's turbulent political landscape. Section 3. Peace processes and security realities. 5. Colombia's total peace teeters, humanitarian crisis worsens. The International Committee of the Red Cross, ICRC, has issued a severe warning about the sharp deterioration of the humanitarian situation in Colombia, noting that displacements have surged by 113% this year alone. This comes as the government's total peace strategy struggles to contain multiple armed groups, despite ongoing talks. My analysis: the phrase total peace is sounding increasingly like a cruel joke. The real drama is that the 2016 FARC peace accord is fraying, allowing new, splintered armed groups to emerge and fight over illicit economies, cocaine, illegal mining. The gossip on the ground is that the security situation in rural areas is worse now than it has been in years. The government is attempting to pivot from national-level peace talks to highly localized dialogues. But the fact that multiple armed groups are sitting at the table while simultaneously increasing their attacks reveals the fatal flaw. They are fighting for territory, not political reform. The surge in displacement is the tragic evidence that the peace process is currently losing the war for the safety of its own citizens. 6. Argentina's economic shock. SMEs decry Milei's policies. Reports from Buenos Aires confirm that Argentina's small and medium enterprises, SMEs, are strongly criticizing the effects of President Javier Milei's radical austerity policies, which have led to a sharp contraction in consumption and investment. My analysis. This is the pain of the economic shock doctrine hitting the backbone of the economy. Milei's policy of deep spending cuts and currency devaluation was a necessary, though painful, prescription. But the gossip is that the shock is deeper and faster than anticipated. While the financial markets cheer the fiscal discipline, like the Ibovespa's record run in Brazil, the businesses that employ the majority of Argentines are now feeling the squeeze. The political drama will shift from passing legislation to managing the social fallout. If Milei cannot quickly show that the pain leads to a viable path for the average business, his political capital will evaporate quickly. The question is, how much more will the economy have to break before it can be fixed? That's the latest high-stakes drama from a continent that never ceases to provide intrigue.